Elsie.
And I'm Debbie.
And we're two sisters Southern cooking.
Hey y'all, so we are starting on our prep for our pork chops. We're going to make our pork chop sandwiches. So I'm just going to pat them down a little bit so that it spreads them out a little thinner. And it tenderizes them, and it also makes it easier to fry. They'll less you have to fry them. By the way, Elsie's dog, her Chihuahua Bella, got out. We took her outside to let her go potty, and she ran away. Yeah, we just spent half hour looking for her. Yelling. And we have a busy road too. Yeah, we do. Out here is a busy road. But we had three four-wheelers out looking for her, and she found the neighbors. Yeah, she came meandering down the road like nothing was wrong, and being chased by dogs. A pack of dogs. Our neighbors' dogs. Our neighbors' dogs are in a fence, so they couldn't get to her, but they were trying. Mom said that she saw the dogs run towards the fence, and she figured that Bella was nearby. Oh my God. Scared us to death. I said, Elsie, we'll never let her outside again without her harness on. She ran across the main highway one day and went between the wheels of a semi and didn't get hit. So that was lives. Yeah. Wow. I'm gonna have to clean all this because it's splattering. Yeah. She's got 9 lives. Oh my gosh. I know, my heart was going 90 to nothing because I was like, oh my gosh, all we were doing was letting her to go out to go potty, and then she took off. She first started chasing the cat. That got her distracted. She lost sense of direction. Oh my God. Cat give us a heart attack. So, getting back to what we're doing. We are doing pork chop sandwiches tonight. This is the recipe inspired by Snappy's Lunch that is in Mount Airy, North Carolina, which is the home birthplace of Andy Griffith. And he mentions this in his show, and it is a staple in that area. And to this day, it's still open and still serving pork chop sandwiches. So we're going to assemble one on screen after we have fried these up and we have our hamburger buns done, which is now in the oven baking. So it's going to be really super good. They normally have mustard, mayonnaise, tomato, lettuce, whatever you want on it. You can have that on it. And it's a southern staple. It's so good. We've been there to Snappy's, and it's been quite a while. So maybe someday we could go back there and have a little pork chop sandwich. Snappy's Lunch. Yeah, it's still open and going. Yeah, and you know, the barber, Floyd the barber shop, is still open also, which is shocking to me because the original Floyd, the guy that the character was named after, was still cutting hair back in the early 2000s, right? In the middle 2000s, like 2013, I think it was 2012.
Aiden
2013.
Aiden was about 2 or 3.
Yeah,
and he was there, and he sat in the barber chair with him.
Did he? Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
he's passed on. But his business still is still open, and
yep,
you can still get a haircut there by somebody who is
whoever's doing it now.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna get our batter together, and we will batter these up, and then follow us to the stove, and we'll get to cooking. Hey, y'all. So we are starting on our pork chops. So the first thing we need to do is we need to put our liquids together and whisk it up. And then we're going to combine the dry ingredients with the liquids as well.
So we're doing milk and we're doing egg for our wet batter.
Yeah, and I'm making a mess. I got it all over me.
Hey, that's okay. We had a mess going with the pork chops too, remember?
We had to clean the whole surface.
Yeah, we had to clean it with soap and water and dial and the whole works.
Because we had splatter everywhere of pork chop.
So I'm going to go ahead and
Juices.
take the all our dry ingredients and put in there salt, pepper,
What is
and
this?
we are doing sugar. And
Oh, wow.
we are,
Okay.
we
All right,
are-
and then we have to put our liquid in there.
yes,
And I got a mess on the counter here.
it's okay. That's joys of cooking.
Yeah, if you're not making a mess, you ain't cooking.
That's right. You're not a chef. You're a cook. If you're not making a mess. All right. So Elsie's mixing this in the wet and the dry dredge together, and then we're going to dip our pork chops in, and then we're going to put them on here, and then take it to the stove, and we're going to have a 375 on the stove in our oil, and then we're going to fry these up. We patted them out till they were thin, so we didn't have any. We just want it to cook even, not to be too thick.
All right, so we are going to move this over. And we're gonna set this like this so we can at least just get it on the pan until so we can move it into the pan fully as soon as we get enough room.
Yeah, so you don't have the dredge dripping all over
All
the
over
place.
the counter.
Yeah.
So, all right, so this is basically all we're doing. This is a wet dredge. Let it drip off a little bit.
We have 12 pork chops here. And if you wanted to double up on your pork chops, you're more than welcome to do so, but we're probably going
And
to do one.
we use thinly sliced pork chops as well.
No bone. No bone. Because you would have to add time too if you have bone in. So you would have to add the time also for that.
Might be a good idea to have a second pan
I'm going to get one.
because when you spread these out, it's getting hot.
Yeah, I just turned the heat down on our stove because we're using our huge frying pan, and I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to be too hot. I didn't want it to start smoking and burning, so I turned it down to medium heat. You know what would be really good is if we used buttermilk
Yeah.
as our wet
Milk.
ingredient instead of milk, using buttermilk and using it as our dredge. That would definitely tenderize your meat. So you can do that too if you wanted to try something different, but we are doing an inspired recipe of Snappy's lunch, so we want to try to keep it as simple to the recipe as possible, because this is an inspired recipe. This is not our recipe. We're going to cook these about 375 in your skillet, so you might want to keep an eye on that so it doesn't start smoking. But if you don't have a thermometer to be able to check your temperature, take a little bit of water from the sink and then just
Or some flour even.
Yes, flour.
Might be better than water.
Yeah, and it will definitely spit at you. So if it's ready to go, then it's definitely going to spit at you. I think that went right well.
Yeah.
Right up to the last.
I was thinking it would not be enough batter.
All right, guys.
We're going to the stove now.
Hey, y'all. So we are going to go ahead and assemble a pork chop sandwich. So when you go to Snappy's, you're going to get a hamburger bun, you'll get lettuce, tomato, you'll get mustard, and you will get your pork chop. You'll get maybe 1 to 2 pork chops depending on how many you want. So I don't care much for mustard with that, so I'm going to go ahead and assemble my sandwich of how I want it. And I'm going to go ahead and put a pork chop on here, and I'm going to put some mayonnaise on here and some cheese. You can do whatever you want. Most people traditionally put tomato on it, and that is traditionally what they use. And they do at Snappy's, is they put mustard, tomato. You can even do ketchup if you want to. Whatever you want. All right. So, and you don't have to put cheese on this either. You can, it's whatever you want. So I'm going to go ahead and put a slice of American cheese on there. And I'm going to actually turn this over. And I'm going to put a little bit of mayonnaise on this side as well. All right. And that's going to be my pork chop sandwich. You do it as you want. It's going to be good, y'all. And y'all have a blessed night. God bless.
All right, y'all, we are getting started. And we are going to go 2 to 3 minutes per side because they are thin. If you had a thicker pork chop, then you would go 3 minutes per side.
All right, guys, we'll come back when we're ready to flip them over.
Hey, y'all, so we're ready to flip. All right, we'll let them cook 2 to 3 minutes on the other side, and then we will take them up and start our next batch.
I'm Elsie.
And I'm Debbie.
And we're Two Sisters Southern Cooking. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you.